YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Welcome to my review for Power Rangers issue 14, the continuation of the Eltarian War, and our first time seeing Zordon out on the battlefield. And it was a good issue for sure. I don't think I liked it as much as Mighty Morphin, but I think that's primarily because Mighty Morphin had a lot of really good character stuff. This had some cool character stuff too, but it was a little bit more about the action. Not that that's a bad thing, and I actually think that they integrated some nice little character beats within the action, but it just didn't feel as meaty as Mighty Morphin 14, but still a good issue. Anyway, that's about it for this one, guys. No, I'm just kidding. So, in this issue, we get to see Zordon out in the battlefield. He's there with the Omegas, and they're breaking onto the ship, and there's just some really cool scenes within that. I mean, just it's kind of cool in general when you think about it, to see Zordon fighting, since within the TV show and in the comic, we pretty much have only ever seen him in the tube outside of the flashback. So that's kind of cool in general. And he's honestly pretty badass, and he has a really cool line at one point where he says, "Not even the power will protect you now." I'm like, holy crap, that was awesome. Like, I really love the journey they've taken us on with Zordon this season. So I'm so used to talking about TV shows, but this arc, and I hope that continues, and I hope I actually continue to like him, because it's really been a roller coaster where I've always felt Zordon was a little bit too strict in general and like my way or the highway, and I'm the only way to do Power Ranger. I'm like, not really. And I feel like that's kind of the way it's been, and I like that he's been having some self-realization, and we've been seeing some development and how he kind of clashes with some of the ideals that Billy had and that Jason had, and I think that there's really been a nice development. And I like that it's kind of the opposite of the show. I mean, both the show and, to be honest, sometimes in Sentai or even Rider, where you'll have a conflict and they'll be like, nope, it's this one main character's way. That's the way. This is the way. But not like the cool, this is the way, like not Star Wars. Is oftentimes you'll have a conflict of like values, and you'll be told like, nope, this is the one way you should believe, and there's never any gray area. And I like that with this storyline, there's been a bit of a gray area, and everyone kind of learning from each other, and like who was wrong, who was right, and everyone had a little bit of both. Regardless, I like what they've done with Zordon. I think that was really actually showcased in the battle, because as I mentioned, within the battle, there's some nice little character beats, like him talking to Jason about how he's proud of them and proud of his Ranger children. I really hope we get a more like in-depth talk between him and Jason when the arc is over, just because I felt that their rift and the rift with the Omegas was just as important as the one with Billy, but there was still some nice moments within it, and self-sacrificial moment for Zordon, and he's going to like, I can't remember the name of it right now, like the Cave of Despair or something like that on the moon to find the Zeo Crystal, and then Zed shows up at the end. I'm skipping all the way to the end, but I'm talking about this one storyline, but we knew Zed was going to come back. There's no way that they were delving into his origins and having this war that involves these two people that he grew up with Zordon and Zardes, and not bringing back Zafra. I'm definitely interested by the role the Zeo Crystal has played in this arc, you know, because it's a major part of their backstory, obviously, but now it might play a role in the end of this war story, and it just makes me ultimately kind of curious where the Zeo Crystal is going to go. Like, are we going to get to Zeo earlier, or are we going to set it up? Like, is this the Zeo Crystal arc story, and we're setting it up for later? Because we technically still have Season 3 version of events to go through. I mean, I know it's a different universe and a changed timeline, but I still imagine they're going to want to do the Boom universe, post-Shattered Grid timeline version of Season 3 stuff. The others are still kind of fighting on the ground, fighting the Imperials who are showing up, and fighting the Eltarian warriors that are showing up, and there's some nice little back and forth between them, and Matt like accidentally alerts them to their presence because he has to morph to get this debris out. Like, there's this scene where they're both lifting, and it just reminded me of that. Are you pulling? Represent! To see all the Rangers fighting together in their Megazords, and there's this really funny scene where like they're all saying epic things in the Megazord, like, just get the hell off our Earth, and then the cat's like, meow. I don't know, I just thought that was funny. The coolest part, though, of those scenes, I think, was just seeing the Rangers fight alongside Zed's forces, just because it was kind of a cool team-up moment and kind of the culmination of the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of thing. And there were just some cool visuals in it, like Zach, it's not Zach anymore. That's how little they're doing with their characters. Adam, like, getting, like, multiples to fight alongside. It was just some really cool stuff there, but overall, solid issue. I would give it a 3 out of 5. I think it was a good issue. And like I mentioned, I think they did a good job of balancing some really good action to make this feel like a war storyline with some character beats. I just wasn't as invested as Mighty Morphin, just because I feel there was a little bit more to sink your teeth into. But this was definitely a good issue that sets us up nicely for the next story beats. But what did you guys think of this issue? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.